We're gonna talk about movies today. I've been teasing this video and a couple of other videos on this channel leading up to now because I had this, not epiphany, but I had this moment of realization that, hey, there's only 3 Mondays left in 2024. I wanna have like a Monday miniseries movie madness, or some form of those words together. And I was thinking last week I had planned a holiday romance movie bingo.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
I think I would do that again with, different movies.
Yeah.
But
Just
even
to
the same bingo card.
Just to see how long it might take us.
Yeah. We've got another Hallmark. It's actually Hallmark. It's the Notting Hill Christmas.
Yes. Oh my God.
And we have a new game we want to play with it. Sorry, it's late on Sunday. Somebody's sleepy. But we have a new game we want to play with that movie in particular. And that one's going to be a drinking game. Because I think we need to take a picture of every coat that the main character wears in that movie.
I swear there's got to be 12 or something absolutely ridiculous like that. I think every time she is outside, which is a lot of this movie, she is wearing a different coat. I don't think she wears the same coat one time. It's diabolical of the costume wardrobe people in this movie, and I'm all about it.
And the reason it's upsetting
is because she comes to London from like Iowa or something.
Indiana.
Whatever. It's an I state nobody cares about. So
you can't say that. People live there.
Who lives in Indiana?
People that watch this channel live in Indiana.
If there is actually anybody from Indiana, I apologize. But I really am of the firm belief that there is nobody who lives in Indiana. Anyway, so
she speaks for herself, not for me.
So she comes to London from Indiana supposedly for like 3 weeks because she's a teacher, so she gets most of December off. And she's there to visit her sister. And she brings just one small suitcase. Not even a carry-on. Not like a coat bag full of lots of coats.
She has one suitcase.
One.
And it is like a point of the movie to tell us that's all you brought? She's like, yeah, I'm going to raid your closet. So it's like
closet.
The whole time we're watching this movie, we're like, did she only pack coats?
Did she only pack coats?
In her suitcase?
Or are these... Well, her sister is like a slightly different build and slightly different size than her.
They can't share clothes.
Would not be sharing the same clothes. There's no
Shirts,
way.
maybe. Pants, absolutely not.
No.
Anyway,
we're
not here to talk about that today, but that's another game we have planned maybe for this holiday season.
And I cannot wait.
Maybe we should play that tonight.
That would be fun.
After we do this. But today, the whole point of this is for us to talk about some of the weird Christmas movies that we've got.
We do have
a few.
Some. Not just a few. We have some.
We have 7 in our hands. Some of them aren't actually movies. Some of them are like TV shows.
Or like TV specials. So they're like not quite an hour.
Yeah. You won't waste multiple hours of your life watching one of these.
No.
But if you watch multiple of them, you'll waste hours of your life. These are precious to us because they have been a part of our lives for a very long time.
Yes. So one of these I think we grew up watching.
2 of them for sure. 3 of them for sure.
3 of them for sure. One of them came out the year I was born. And I think is one of the best versions of this kind of Christmas movie genre. It's like its own Christmas movie archetype.
Yeah. So most of these, there's one of these that I'm like, is this ironically good or is this just a good movie? It's hard to tell. The rest of them are ironically good movies.
Yes.
You're not going to watch it and think, wow, I loved that movie. You're going to watch it and you're like, what did I just watch?
That's so awful. I can't wait to watch it again.
Why do I want to watch it again? So let's start with the one you're holding.
Yes.
We're going to start with the movies.
So this one is called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the movie. And before we get into anything about it, I want to tell a little story of how we remember this movie and we pick on our poor mother about it all the time because when we were young, she turned to Auburn and I during Christmas one year and she was like, why don't we watch that movie with the fairies? And she and I were like, what?
So we had watched this movie for years on end and then it disappeared from our rotation.
And somehow. I guess
years
we just never pulled it out.
We're like in high school and mom's in the kitchen and she kind of turns to us and she asks us to watch the movie with the fairies.
And so we're looking at her like, what are you talking about?
What on earth are you talking about?
And she goes, you know, the one with I'm Aurora, I'm Sparkle, I'm Glitter. And Auburn and I are looking at each other like, oh, it's finally happened. Our mother has lost her mind.
Who do we need to call? Because there's something wrong.
There's something wrong. No. And she was so enraged at us for not believing in her. She marched
She tracked it down.
She tracked it down. She went right upstairs where we had all of our VHS tapes, and she rooted through them, and then she came downstairs brandishing. This is the DVD version, but she was brandishing the VHS tape like, I told you I would find it. And we're like, we have no memory of this place. Like, just like Gandalf standing in the catacombs. Like, I don't know where I am. Yeah. But she put it in, and then not even like 5 minutes in the movie, we're like, oh, no, I know this one. This one, yes, absolutely.
Wow, okay. So it is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story.
Of course.
But it's a movie version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I think it came out in like 2001.
I want to point out the voice cast of this movie.
Because that is like almost half of the entire draw of this movie. Is the cast is so incredibly good.
Bob Newhart, Whoopi Goldberg, John Goodman, and then they have Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time song in this movie.
And also Debbie Reynolds, who was in Singing in the Rain, and of course she was Carrie Fisher's mother. So this is really a star-studded cast, and I have no idea how they convinced all of these people to be in the same movie at the same time, and it just flew under everybody's radar. But it is a really pretty good Rudolph movie. Whoopi Goldberg is amazing in it, and
there is a ice witch, there is a polar bear, there is an Arctic fox.
Fox, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
And the music isn't even half bad.
Well, they've got the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song performed by Clint Black.
Yes.
And you've got the Paul McCartney version of the Wonderful Christmas Time.
Yes.
And, like, there are other songs in it, like the fairy song. Of course, there are fairies in this movie.
And then there's the It Could Always Be Voice.
And oh, don't spoil it for them. They're gonna
That's not a spoiler, that's a teaser.
We were talking about something last night, how sometimes, a lot of times in movies, Santa's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Santa's a good guy in this movie.
Yes, he's a really nice guy in this one.
I've always hated Santa in the claymation version.
Yes, like, Rudolph is just born and he comes waltzing in there and pokes fun and bullies a baby. Can you imagine?
Such a jerk.
Can you imagine Santa, like, walking into a hospital and bullying a baby? Oh, that baby looks stupid. You'll never grow up to be anything.
He's not like that in this movie.
No.
He's actually a really nice guy in this movie. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, so this is a good Santa.
Yeah, and I don't know where we found it. I don't know where it came from. I know we had it on VHS tape, and I think it was, like, recorded from television.
Yes.
To a home video.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we never pulled it out, I think, for all those years that we forgot to pull it for Christmas, because what we would do is we would gather all of our Christmas movies from everywhere, bring them downstairs, and then just they would live there.
Until the end of the Christmas season, and we put them away.
And I guess one year we forgot that one, and then it just snowballed into us forgetting it for the next several until Mom remembered and re-enlightened us.
But now we have it on DVD.
Yes, because it is that good.
So we have the official version of it now. So that's one. The next one. Oh gosh. You know what? Let's go here. Let's go to this one. This one's actually a good movie, and it's one of, I think, and she agrees, one of the best versions of
the Nutcracker. This is my favorite Nutcracker.
It's Barbie in the Nutcracker.
Barbie in the Nutcracker. This one also has A Christmas Carol and A Perfect Christmas. It has other Barbie movies. I don't even think that we've seen the other two, and we really have no interest in it because all we care about is Barbie in the Nutcracker.
It's really good.
It is really good.
You get more story than you get with just the ballet. Now we have just the ballet, like the ballet with Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, like the actual ballet.
We have that version on DVD. Love it. It's wonderful.
It's beautiful.
This is different. This is a story. This is going to entertain children.
Yes.
It entertains us. It entertains our mom.
And the ballet that they do in the movie was like motion captured. And this came out in like 1997. Really? Yes. They did mocap for this movie in 1997 with actual ballet dancers. So that's why everything else, like, it's very 90s animation where it's kind of off a little bit.
Original Toy Story.
Yes, original Toy Story, except for the ballet. Because the ballet is perfect because they did mocap.
Fascinating. I know even Anthony likes this one.
Yeah. It's a really, really good movie. And of course, Barbie movies just in general, chef's kiss. I really can't complain about any Barbie movie that I've ever seen. And
I actually agree with that.
yeah, I mean, and Eric, or, you know, like, because he has different names.
Yeah,
so the
Nutcracker Prince.
I think he is my top 2. I think he's my top 1 of Barbie love interests. I love him. I love him so much. Mwah, I love this movie.
I do too. We used to play this when we were little kids.
Little.
We would play this and Dad would even watch it with us. He would complain the entire time like he didn't like it. But then he would watch it anyway.
He liked it.
So,
we knew.
Yeah. Now we start getting into the totally unhinged movies.
Absolutely.
Because up to now, those two, good movies.
Good movies.
You probably haven't heard of them. You're probably, like, if you saw it in the store, you'd be like, no. But buy those and watch them, especially if you've got little kids or if you've got like an active imagination or any kind of sense of fun. Absolutely. I think those are good ones. These are weird.
These are very weird.
This is where it's going to start getting a little questionable. We watch these ironically not because we like them, but because they're nostalgic for us.
And because it's like one of those, we've been watching it for years and years and years, so no Christmas feels like Christmas without watching them now.
Yeah. This one is called...
Oh, you're going to do that one first.
I'm going here first because we watched this one last night and this one to me is so nostalgic. It's called The Nuttiest Nutcracker. We just talked about the Barbie Nutcracker. The Nuttiest Nutcracker is absolutely nutty. The characters in this movie are nuts.
They are nuts. Like, literally. They are nuts.
Walnuts, hazelnuts, peanuts, and cashews, almonds.
We had an argument over what kind of nut 2 of these characters were just last night.
I'm convinced this is a hazelnut.
No.
It doesn't matter.
She's an almond.
It doesn't matter.
She's an almond. Look at the shape.
Okay, sure. Okay. The Wikipedia page for this movie does not say. It just says humanoid nut.
I didn't know that.
So, Jim Belushi is a voice in this movie. This is another animated one.
Yes.
Awful animation.
Terrible. It's so good.
But there are songs in this.
That's about the nicest thing you can say about it is there are songs.
It's 48 minutes long. It's short.
Yes.
It's definitely entertaining.
Yes.
The whole time you're watching it, you're thinking, what on earth is happening right now? Fun fact, this is the first version of the Nutcracker that we made Anthony watch.
Yes. And we
started here.
And we had no idea that he had never seen the Nutcracker. He didn't know the Nutcracker story. So this was his first introduction whatsoever. And he had no idea what was happening. I kind of feel bad for him a little bit still. Has Thomas?
We made Thomas watch this last night and he loved it.
Yes.
He really did. And Thomas is a movie snob. So for Thomas and Anthony to both like this movie, I think is hysterical. I wouldn't recommend this being the first version of the Nutcracker that you watch, but we have several and this is in our rotation. We watch this every year at least once. We've watched it twice this year.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's nostalgic. I think if I didn't watch this as a kid, I would not appreciate it the way that I do.
Yes.
But even Thomas and Anthony, who were just introduced to it this year, Anthony was introduced to it last year, I think they're both, I don't know, on board with that one.
I agree.
But it's wild. Okay. This one's called Night Before Christmas in Cartoon Town.
Although we knew it as just Christmas in Cartoon Town.
We had this one on VHS tape. Remember when cassette tapes or like VHS tapes used to come in a big plastic case?
Big plastic. Like, you remember those like vintage Disney VHS tapes? With,
it came in one like that and it looked like
a book.
Fairy tale storybook.
Yeah. And this one and The Nuttiest Nutcracker are 2 movies that I have no idea how they came to be in our family collection possession, but they have just, it's like they just were there one day.
They were there from the time we remember being old enough to like pick out movies to watch.
And so that's why we still watch them, is because they just were something that we wanted to watch when we were young because we wanted to watch movies. And Mom and Dad were sick of us watching the same ones over and over again. So we had to, intersperse some new ones here and there. And so now we continue to watch them because now as an adult, they're both nostalgic and absolutely ridiculous and very, very, very fun to watch.
Very
and
frivolous.
Laugh at.
This is not one that we watch every year. Now, for a while, we didn't have this one at all because we had it on VHS tape. We have a VHS player.
But it doesn't
work. And so I'm trying to slowly replace all of our VHS tapes with DVDs. So I found this one. Now, when we had it on VHS tape, it was marketed as, or like titled,
Christmas in Cartoon Town. Yeah.
And the DVD is called Night Before Christmas in Cartoon Town. This movie is so bad, there are editing errors in it.
Yeah.
So there are parts where it will like play a video clip with no sound, and then it goes back and it plays that same clip again with sound. It's
So terrible.
It's so bad. Okay, so the story is Christmas in Cartoon Town. These two children magically get transported into Cartoon Town.
Which is, they have to walk their way from Halloweenville, I guess, in Cartoon Town, all the way to the North Pole where Santa is. For plot reasons. Anyway.
So it says, starring Cinderella, Pinocchio, Snow White, Santa Claus, Jack from the Beanstalk, and introducing Heidi, Alex, and Irv, the misfit elf. And you know who's not on here? Our villain.
Our villain?
Yeah.
Oh, she has the coolest song.
And the coolest sneakers.
Yeah, the coolest sneakers. Oh, I love her.
Yeah. So the villain in this is actually wonderful. I love her.
Yeah. Icon. She's an icon.
Yeah. This is not a classic Christmas story. This is frivolous. This is weird. This is one I will make any small children in my life watch at least once.
Yeah. Scar them mentally for life.
I've made Anthony watch it just because you see those,
the really cool sneakers on the witch.
Well, you that, and like I love the witch in this movie. Oh, I don't know, there's a witch. Oh no.
Oh no.
Anyway,
there's a really cool sneakers in the movie.
Yeah. So the villain is a witch. Whatever. You can know that even if you're not gonna watch the movie. It's fine. But Anthony watched it, and that was important to me, and
yeah.
I'm glad we have it on DVD.
I am too.
It's unhinged. It's weird. So now we're getting into like TV shows.
So these are all like TV show movie specials or like special episodes. So they're at most probably an hour and 20 minutes. I think most of them though are just under an hour. So they would be an hour on TV with commercials.
So the first one is VeggieTales. I didn't realize this one was unhinged until last night when I was thinking about watching this from Anthony's perspective, because he's never seen VeggieTales, never been exposed to VeggieTales in his life. And if you don't know what VeggieTales is,
the whole concept of like singing fruits and vegetables can be very off-putting.
It's fruits and vegetables singing and teaching Bible stories from a kitchen countertop.
Yeah.
And so there are two VeggieTales like holiday episodes. They call this the double feature. And the one that we watched last night was The Toy That Saved Christmas.
Yes.
And he's like trying to find the toy is trying to find the true meaning of Christmas, which is not about like
presents or
getting
stuff. No, it's about the birth of Christ is what the movie is getting at. Because this is a Christian. The VeggieTales is all about, telling Bible stories. So if you're not Christian.
The songs are so catchy. The songs are so catchy. I
really
love them. Like the silly songs with Larry.
I love the silly songs with Larry. The part of the show where Larry comes out and sings a silly song.
You have to suspend your disbelief though, because like they're vegetables. They don't have arms and legs. Please forgive
Which
the
is kind of
cats.
Yeah, it's really fun for me when they like break the fourth wall and they're like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna grab this item or I'm gonna use this item because there's not in this one. But the hairbrush song, it's like, why do you need a hairbrush? You don't have any hair.
You also don't have any hands.
You also don't have any hands. I just think it's neat and it's really fun.
Yeah. The other one in this double feature is called The Star of Christmas.
Yes.
My favorite.
It's not bad. I would watch it if I needed something to watch. But compared to The Toy That Saved Christmas, it's...
Because The Toy that Saved Christmas is one we've been watching
forever.
And it's just so cute.
I still love it.
I love VeggieTales though. Even as an adult, I love VeggieTales. I would just sit down and binge watch it. If I had them like all on DVD, I would just sit down and binge watch VeggieTales.
Same.
This one's one of my favorites.
It's also one of Mom's favorites.
SpongeBob. SpongeBob has a bunch of, and this is an older DVD.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sure there are even more now. SpongeBob had then whenever this was. This is 2003.
Where?
Here. So a bunch of holiday episodes. But the one on here is called Christmas Who. It's a double-length episode, and I would hope that most of you have seen it, but if not, Squidward has to be Santa.
Has to be Santa, essentially.
It's so good. We talk about this all the time.
We reference this all the time. Sometimes even when we're watching other movies.
So there's something that happens in here where Squidward, and I've got to tell this story, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Squidward is Santa Claus. For reasons that are explained in the episode.
Yeah.
So he's giving gifts to people in Bikini Bottom.
And he's just giving them like
stuff out of his
whatever.
house because he wasn't planning on being Santa Claus. It just happened that he happened to be Santa Claus. And so this one fish woman is like standing there and she wants her gift and he gives her a bowl of mashed potatoes. Because fish eat potatoes like all the time, you know.
I mean,
and
it's SpongeBob. So.
She takes the bowl of mashed potatoes with the spoon still in it. And she flops it on her head and she goes, just what I wanted, a new hairstyle. And, okay, so there's something really important you need to understand. There is a Hallmark movie that we watch and it's called Christmas Under Wraps. And I love this actress, okay? It's not Candace Cameron Bure. It is, I don't even know her name, starts with a P.
Yeah, she's a background, well, not background, she's like a side character in the movie.
And she's got, in this movie, in the Christmas Under Wraps, she's got this hairstyle where it just kind of flips out. And I swear, she looks like the fish from this episode of SpongeBob. Every time I watch this Hallmark movie, I'm like,
it's mashed potato hair.
It's mashed potato hair.
We love her. We love her.
Yeah. In the movie, her name is Patty. If you ever watch Christmas Under Wraps and you see Patty,
that's
you will
mashed
know
potato hair.
That's mashed potato hair, and I'm not sorry. That's just what her hair looks like to me in that.
There are a couple other like winter themed episodes on this because this has just like a whole bunch of random episodes. Oh my god, including the pizza delivery.
Oh, good. But the snowball effect one.
Yeah, there's the snowball effect where there's a snowball fight between SpongeBob and Patrick, and then there's the one where Patrick and SpongeBob get trapped in Sandy's biome where she's hibernating for winter.
All right, you will be pleased to know we're nearly done.
Yes.
Last one, Scooby-Doo. Now I'm showing you this DVD because this is the one we own it on, but specifically I'm talking about the Nutcracker Scoob Part 1 and Part 2. So it's 2 parts. Yeah, okay, so you need to watch both parts because Part 1 is a cliffhanger and you can't just watch Part 1.
You have to watch Part 2.
Scooby-Doo is so fun. It's kids solving a mystery.
Yeah, I love the Scooby-Doo gang. I just think that they are such a wonderful little collection of characters that have been such a constant in the media landscape. Sometimes misused, but sometimes like in this, not misused at all and wonderful.
Isn't Scooby-Doo like from the 60s?
Yeah, the first series of cartoons was like from 1960.
See, I love that because like Mom grew up with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And so the Nutcracker Scoob has all your favorite characters. You know, you've got Fred and Shaggy and Daphne and Velma and Scooby, but you've also got Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah. Which some people don't like Scrappy-Doo, but that's to each their own.
Yeah, we bought this DVD specifically because it has the Nutcracker Scoob Part 1 and Part 2 on it, but there are 13 spooky tales on here.
Yes.
And we haven't watched them all. So at some point we need to do that, but really all I wanted to tell you was the Nutcracker Scoob is great. And if you can find it somewhere, I don't know if Scooby-Doo streams anywhere, but if you can find it.
There is one version that's on... It's like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And then, of course, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which is a little bit darker, a little bit more, like, adult. Both of those are on Netflix.
Good to know. Cool. But if I can find all of these on Amazon, I will link to them if I can find them. If you're interested. Yeah. If you're feeling brave. But really, I mean, none of them are, like, I wouldn't call any of them a waste of time.
No.
The Night Before Christmas in Cartoon Town, totally frivolous.
Totally frivolous.
It's weird. If you were going to skip one, I'd skip that one. The Nuttiest Nutcracker, if you want to laugh and just totally be mystified, like, how did this...
Like, I can't believe that this was, like, something that somebody in Hollywood...
This was pitched and produced.
And produced. Somebody heard the pitch for this.
People bought it. And I'm one of them. I bought this.
Somebody pitched it in Hollywood and they said, oh, that's a good idea. Let's make that. And then they did.
Yeah.
And then they did.
Barbie Nutcracker's really good.
Yeah, excellent.
If you like the Nutcracker,
you'll love it.
And you haven't seen the Barbie version, buy the Barbie version.
Or if you have like a child or a grandchild who is interested in ballet, Highly recommend.
Or Barbie.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. And then Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the movie. If you've always watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and thought, ooh, Santa's a jerk, this one's better.
That one's for you.
Plus, it's a musical. Okay. That's it. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. We're going to come back in 1 week from today. We're not going to talk about Christmas movies. We're going to talk about New Year's movies. Ooh, because we have some.
We have some.
Just a few.
Just a couple.
Okay. That's it. Bye.
Bye.